Going, guys, my name is Alex.
Good evening, good afternoon.
And welcome to a review of Gameweek 22 and also my team selection for Gameweek number 23. I wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts about the next Gameweek and maybe share an advice that many people are sharing as well on their channels, but they're not. I think they're not emphasizing enough on how important right now it is for most of the teams to improve their rank. It's just to start accumulating the transfers. If you're following like accounts who have been in the game for ages, legends of the game, like Crellin, for instance, who has been getting in top 10k almost every year and even top 5k as well. He is planning ahead and he's obviously saving transfers. So he saved, I think, 3 or 4 transfers by this time. And his plan is, of course, to get to 5 and then start getting double game week players, because in game week number 24, you're getting the first double game week for Liverpool and Everton. And then the turn of the fixtures happens, Brentford and for Bournemouth. So these players, exciting players like Kluivert, exciting players like Mbumo, Visa, and of course you can even get Kerkez if you prefer a defender from Bournemouth, or maybe even an attacker in Atatra. So you probably would be very trigger happy to make these moves. And then that's where you probably would want to use your transfers rather than taking a hit, which I did before. And look, I'm far from 100k rank, I'm only 163, but the idea is to get there by Gameweek 24, hopefully, without really making a lot of moves, because I've been saving transfers too, as you can see previously, 0 transfers, 75 points, and if I nailed the captaincy, I nailed the captaincy, in fact. If I did it with Isak, I would have been even higher, like Gameweek rank was decent, but it would be 1 million rank. This Gameweek rank is pathetic, but I still somehow got a green arrow. And the idea right now, my team is looking stacked. I think I have actually benching decisions. So let's move on to team selection, and I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on whether you need to get a player or you can actually roll a transfer like I'm going to be doing for the Gameweek 23. So in goal, I have Raya, and it comes as no surprise as I don't want to make a goalkeeping transfer, although, I mean, I would have wanted it so much. Raya is just a Mr. Blanc goalkeeper, a cosmetic goaler. I would like to get a goalkeeper that saves shots or keeps a clean sheet for once. But look, playing against Wolves, there is no reason to get him out of my team for a move. And every transfer, even though it's a free transfer, I still think that I'm losing 4 points, because I can use this transfer elsewhere, maybe in the future, where I would be taking a hit instead. So making a move like that is just a minus AV move. I'm going to be keeping him and hoping for the best. I still expect Arsenal somehow to find a way to concede. And in the middle, we have Hull at Southampton away, which is a tricky decision. I think I'm going to be benching him for Robertson. Robertson is on my bench. This is the game week that is marked by, marred, I would say even, by benching decisions. I may be rearranging my squad come the final deadline minute, because I will be getting some leaks. Maybe a team is going to be playing not full strengths, and maybe some players are going to be getting injury or some doubts they're starting, and then I'm maybe changing my team. So that's like a disclaimer, because last time I started slightly different lineup compared to mine. I didn't make an additional move, but I regretted that, of course. But if you followed suit, you got more points than me. So at least I'm not getting in a like advantageous position. Also, you can follow me on Twitter if you want to see my squad posted there just like 5 minutes before the deadline, because I'm finalizing that, watching other people streaming and maybe talking about like some final deadline news and maybe leaks as well. So it's Gabriel as well for me in defense. I brought him in when there was like this hype about a scoring defender, the best value for money defender, which I didn't receive any. I missed out on, I think, on his goals. I yeeted him out when he was kind of injured. Injury doubts were around him. And I didn't have him for the West Ham game when he was scoring goals, earning penalties. So that was very underwhelming the experience for me. Yeah, Arsenal triple up never worked for me. It was only defensive triple up for me. They all blanked, and they're proceeding to blank again. So I'm not surprised at all. Another defender is Trent. Again, I owe him an apology because he delivered there. And if he's starting against Ipswich, and of course he should, according to the a lineup that was rotated in the Champions League game, so most likely it's Bradley who started there, and it means that Trent is starting in the Premier League. That's logical to think. I'm not excluding the possibility that Bradley will start again here, but most likely Trent starts. And obviously benching Trent after Bradley played almost like 90 minutes, or maybe not 90, 70 minutes in the Champions League game, there is no need to be so sophisticated about that, no need to be special. Just play Trent if you have him. Getting him in your team probably a good idea too, because he has this game. There's double game week, which this looks like it's 2 games in 1 game week, but the games actually are separated by the cup game somehow. So this double game week for Liverpool just stretches for like a week and a half or something. So it looks like they can play their starting 11, rotate the players in the cup game, and maybe then play another team in a match against Everton. Both games are away, they can easily concede. So is Trent essential? I would say it's nice to have him. I wouldn't be selling him now, although I wanted before. I was kind of very like, I wanted to make that knee-jerk move and just yeet him out of my team, just because he wasn't really, he was woeful against Manchester United. But, you know, now that he's delivering some points, I mean, he's returning me the favor of trust and trusting in him. Maybe it's a good idea to keep him still. Another player is Rodgers against West Ham, who are leaking goals. And I think Rodgers is the attacker, a very undervaluated asset. People just, some people I've seen bench him. I wouldn't be benching him. Aston Villa are in a good form. They just drew with Arsenal. That was a crazy game. Rodgers wasn't involved. I benched him for that game. But I think West Ham United are defensively still very fragile and going to be conceding. And hopefully Rodgers is going to be involved in one of these goals. Anthony Gordon, I think our Newcastle should be kind of angry because of the fashion that they lost the game at home. They need some kind of redemption. On the other hand, Southampton aren't really punching bag anymore. They can't score goals. The game against Nottingham Forest proved that they can be like also they still want to fight, bro. There's nothing to lose. This like this cornered animal that just they don't have anyone nowhere to go back, like, and they want to fight still. And depending on the attitude that Newcastle will get onto the pitch with for that game, I think you can either expect a haul from Gordon or maybe a blank. I still will be playing him, but getting him for this game week, I'm not sure it's a good idea. There are some tricky fixtures ahead. I would probably be selling Newcastle players at some point in the future. And then we have Stormzy, another differential of mine. Well, he hit the bar in a game against Brentford. He played almost like 80 minutes or something, 85 minutes maybe. Very impressive. Like, neither Diaz delivered, but Stormzy is very underwhelming because it's such a massive differential. I think he owned by 0.1%. And if he scores anything, and people have another Liverpool player, and it's like the goalkeeper or defender that concedes, or Diaz who is getting benched, and I getting points from Stormzy, this is my bet on how I can propel my ranks. Obviously, Jota is not really there. He's not starting that many games. He received a suspension recently. He's hurt his suspension. But I hope that he's starting the game against Ipswich. If he does, I expect him to be involved. That's my bet. Look, I'm going to be shipping out one of the Liverpool players for sure. Either Trent or maybe both, and Trent and Stormzy after the Wolves games. Somehow I think there's no really need to keep both. And we have Palmer as well in my team, who I was considering benching, but after their shambolic performance and complete... like they were completely overturned by Man City. That was very, very impressive, by the way, from PSG. I think Chelsea, despite their recent, like, kind of like drop in form, and Palmer is like playing a little bit lethargic, dropping the ball, dropping a little bit deeper. I think still playing him against Man City, even though away, he's on penalties, anything can happen. Man City concedes like a few goals every game, so he can score, you never know. And then finally, my captain is Salah. There is absolutely no debate in this. If he's starting, this is the game where he can actually start pad. And he's going to be owned by everyone. So if you're not captaining Salah, you're probably watching that game from under your sofa and just like, I don't want to be in that position to begin with, because it's a brain-dead move not to captain Salah in the game against Ipswich at home out of all teams. And in my attack, I have Joao Pedro and I have Isak. And I think this is a great combination of strikers. Joao Pedro is quite questionable. And you can see my bench is very strong. I could easily start Wood ahead of Joao Pedro. I could easily start Robertson ahead of Joao Pedro. Because Pedro, although he's on penalties, is not really involved into attacks that much. He's barely taking shots. He assisted twice before, but these were like kind of fraudulent assists, man, against Arsenal. It's good that he was jammy player from the bench. It was that he was first on the bench for me there. But playing him against Everton, I think it's nice. They conceded 2 goals to Tottenham at the end. I don't really see them being defensively solid away to Brighton, who just defeated Man United in a very, very spectacular fashion. I think Joao Pedro is due some points, and I benched him in the previous game week, which was very nice. And now I'm hoping that he's going to be delivering something. I mean, this bench looks very good to be keeping players on the bench. It's just like Bournemouth are very good defensively, and if Nottingham Forest is scoring a goal, I don't know how many, like, this is just, I'm playing against variance probably. Because look at it, if you're flipping a coin 4 times and you're getting tails, 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 as you can see with Wood, 12, 8, 9, 12. Maybe against Bournemouth, one of the best defenses in the league. A team that barely concedes goals. I think maybe it's not a bad idea to bench Wood. I mean, obviously a cheeky penalty and he's on 10-pointer. That would be ruining my rank, but benching decisions, yeah, I will be looking at this and maybe regretting, but it looks like this is gonna be my team. And let's take a look at how other players are faring. In particular, Mo Salah, I think he is not faring well. I think he abandoned his team. There's absolutely no need to review this. He abandoned his team. It's a shame. I think Trent, same thing. He abandoned his team. He's still perma-captain Salah. He has himself, though. And these players are injured and they're auto-subbed from the bench. Actually, a decent score. He scored more points than me. Well, not even maintaining his team. Andy Robertson, I think he abandoned his team too. He made, oh no, wait a minute. He made 3 transfers before. So this is one of those Liverpool players that still maintains his team. 55 points. He's getting a little bit of a green arrow action here. The rank is pretty poor though. And Diogo Silva or Diogo Jota is his username. He is pretty active. He actually follows the fantasy situations. He's making the very template moves, like maybe some differential moves too. Like he has Bruno. Not everyone has Bruno. Like he knows what's up. Has Sales in goal. Underwhelming because obviously Sales was supposed to keep a clean sheet against Southampton. It was a banker. It was a no-brainer. But it looks like people were bringing Sales for the run of fixtures against Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, Newcastle and Arsenal, which is not screaming clean sheets if you ask me. Although Nottingham Forest are one of the best defenses as well as Bournemouth in the league currently, alongside with the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool. We have Conor Bradley with 2 transfers, 47 points. Not really that impressive. Has Wood, has Aina, who assisted. And then we have James Justin, who is making a few transfers before. This is a very bad result, bro. I think something went... I mean, I'm looking at this team. It doesn't look that bad. Has himself as a starter, as a lucky charm. And this is like, he's not getting anything more than just 1 or 2 points. But lately, but I don't know, man. It's not because of one player his rank is so bad. I just can't put my finger on what's bad at this team. I think the fact that he doesn't own Wood and not Trent as well, and nobody to get him some points as well, only Hall with delivery. This is so poor, despite the team on paper looks very nice. And 44 points for Reece James, who has Palmer as a captain, has Nicholas Jackson. It's time to bring yourself, mate. He started and he scored a goal. Wait, in the previous game, before, against Bournemouth. Yeah, very impressive performance of the bench for Reece James there. And I think he started and played like 60-70 minutes in a game against Wolves. You have Anthony Gordon with 54 points, and he has Mateta as a differential captain, and Isak believing in his captain, like actual team captain. And there is 28 points for Joe Willock, who is faring a little bit worse. And there you go. This is Stormzy with 2 transfers. He's still trying to... yeah, you see, he brought Salah finally. He was anti-Salah for a long time. He brought Salah, has Wood, De Bruyne differential, has still Guardiola. You see, trusting Man City now probably is not a bad decision. If he had Foden, his rank, he would be propelling so fast, but still a chance to get in top 1 million before Gameweek 30, and then who knows, maybe even top 100,000. Not even that of an impossible outcome. Kaisai just back to his old... yeah, I think these transfers are actually decent, and he gets points from Wood. But he is still on a red arrow somehow. Yeah. But he is back to taking hits, man. I remember his -16s, bro. Like, he shouldn't be resorting to this again. FPL Raptor with 71 points. Pretty decent team. A little bit of a differential with Mateta here going on. He has been keeping him for a while, and he is delivering points. Oscar, FPL Focal, is on 56 points, and it's a still green arrow for him, despite captaincy blank. Harry Daniels as well. As you can imagine, everyone in this part of the video is captaining Salah and getting more points than me, despite trying to do something different and not getting rewarded. Wow, impressive. What's the last time it happened like this? And then we have Andy, 45 points for him as well. And that's a red arrow for Andy too. We have Fabio Borsch with 55 points, and he's climbing up the ranks. He's about to get into the top 100,000 rank very soon. And finally, we have Ben Crellin, whom I mentioned before the start of the video. Very impressive, bro. Like, he's marching on. This red arrow shouldn't be a big worry because he's keeping these transfers, man. Last time he made a transfer was like 10 days ago. He accumulates them. I think he is on 4 now. Very, very impressive. And he's about to be playing a mini wildcard, I think, with all those transfers saved. And that's what I suggest you to do as well. Just try and save the transfers. Your team will probably already has a lot of benching decisions. There's no need to create and add more to that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.